players who were injured last year might have had off-season surgery. Could you give us an update on that? And then secondly, I'm going to ask the natural questions you're expecting.
Yeah, all the injuries that we had last year with players that needed surgery or rehab they've been successful and they're up to 100% health. Nathan Horton with his shoulders is to 100%, and with his abdominal surgery is to 100%. But he's had a little bit of a lingering back issue over the summer, and he's rehabbing that and strengthening his core. Probably will not be able to take part in full action in the start of training camp.
And the status, of course, of Ryan Johansen and negotiations there.
We've made offers that we feel are very fair, both on a bridge deal and on a long-term contract, and we've made clear to them that the comparables that we feel that are fair are out there, and some of the top players in this league. We've made an effort to try to find every avenue to get a deal done. It's taken a long time, and I've said a couple days ago that once we get to this training camp and training camp starts, the focus will shift to just the guys that are here. Obviously, we want to get a deal done. We like Ryan Johansen a lot, and therefore we've made those offers that have proved that how much we like him and how much we believe in his future as a Blue Jacket. And I think that the ball is in their camp right now.
John, you used the word extortion in conversation with the Dispatch. How contentious is this, and how PO'd are you with this agent?
I understand agents have jobs to do. They represent their players. We like Ryan Johansen. We think he's a good hockey player. He's a young man that's come a long way since this group here has been assembled and running the organization. But at certain times when you get involved with negotiations, enough's enough. We've made a bridge offer, which we control. It's hard for me to sit here and talk to you folks to have you folks understand the CBA. I understand if you don't, because it's a legal document. Bill knows, Jarmo knows, I know, we have other people that know. Our bridge contract would be a short-term contract. We've offered them $3 million a year for the 2 years. They want double that. We then went to longer-term contracts. We offered him $32 million over a 6-year term. They no, don't want it, and they came back with numbers much, much higher than that. By the way, that number is higher than Jamie Benn, the captain of the Dallas Stars. It's not quite a John Tavares, but it's very close. He's a tremendous hockey player with the Islanders. We've offered him an 8-year deal at $46 million. They didn't like that either. So when you start talking about contracts that have been extended on our behalf that are close to $50 million, I think that our group has been very fair, in fact, more than fair. And it's nowhere near what they want. And when it gets to that point, you start going, you know, enough's enough here. We're trying to do the right thing for our organization. We're trying to be very fair to a good young man in Ryan Johansen, who's got a bright future here. We're trying to do the right thing. And all we're getting is no, 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 no. So it makes you go, you know, enough's enough. Absolutely we are. We have a lot of good young players in our organization. We saw that in Traverse City. We've got a lot of good young players here that played for us last year. We've got a collection of veteran players who are excited to get going. Ryan Johansen is a player on our hockey team. We're a team, and we're not run by one player, even though he's a tremendous player. But we have to, in as far as our group goes, get ourselves in a position where if he's not here, he's not here. He's just not here, period. We would love to have him here. We think our numbers speak for themselves, but if he's not here, and by the way, this doesn't get settled one way or the other until he decides to leave town, and that's up to their camp. Bill, any other comments on that?
No, just if you have any technical CBA questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Well,
as far as I understand, he is, but we've been told if we don't give them what they want, they'll be leaving town.
And you've had no conversation
No, no, have not.
Bill, do you I mean, I know you said you'll answer any CBA questions, but you've been the guy sitting across the table. I mean, can you just characterize how these negotiations have gone? Has it been as antagonistic as maybe we think it is, or is it just a lot of staring at each other in silence? Or, I mean, can you give us some insight how this has gone?
I think I probably shouldn't. You can get the gist of it from what JD and Jarmo have to say. But if there's something CBA related or technical or market wise, I can speak to that.
Just the overall difficulty of this process. Where do you place it in your experience of doing this?
Hi.
Do you see this as not only the extortion that you said it was, but having to not set the precedent for the league for a player coming out of his entry-level contract?
Yeah, when a player comes out of his entry-level contract, they don't have arbitration rights. They're not free agents. So you sit there and you try to do what's right. You try to do what's fair. Edmonton gave a player a 3.8 something this year. It was the highest one ever. Before that, it was 3.5 with, I believe, Duchesne. So there's been some marketplace set. What we want to do is be fair, period. We could do anything we want there, but when the player gets arbitration rights or the player gets unrestricted free agency, they can do whatever they want to us. That's just how it works. We're not breaking any rules. We're not bending any rules. We're just trying to do the right thing for both the player and for us. And so if they don't accept those numbers that we've given them, they don't accept them. And we go on. We have other fish to fry here. We've got a hockey club to take care of that's sitting, it's like a racehorse in the barn. They want to get out and run. They want to start this season. So we have to look at it that way. And in fact, if one more question or so on this thing, because I'd like to move on. We have a lot of young players here, a lot of veteran players, and a lot of people that have worked their tails off all season long, all summer long, to get ready for this upcoming season, and that's where I want to put our focus. If there's a deal to be done, it'll get done. If it's not done, we're moving forward, period. We've got a lot of players that would love to play for our hockey club. They're going to push for a position if it's empty.
One additional comment from me to that is that they're treating this as if he's an unrestricted free agent. Give us what we want, or we're going to move on. Well, unrestricted free agents have that right. At the end of the year, they can go to 29 other teams if there's interest from them. And that's a totally different situation.